Hey everyone, it's Justin here with Voices for Voices. I'm coming to you this evening or morning, depending on where you're at in the world, with a message. And that message is that we are going to present another fact tonight. And we've thought long and hard about sharing it, but it's public record, public document, public docket, and we just want to quell or stop any potential rumor that may be out there. It might not, but regardless, it's a fact, and we talk about being transparent a lot on our shows. And this is just one other way that we are being transparent. And so for anybody out there, any realmy, any other individuals who have a vested interest and stake and have attended a realm conference at any point. Maybe you're at one right now. I don't know. Maybe you are, maybe you're not. Maybe you're thinking about it. But we feel it's very important to share this fact that we're going to be sharing, because we don't want things to get twisted and potentially talked about in a non-factual setting, conversation. And so what you're going to be seeing on the screen here is a document, a legal document that shows Faith Fantasy Alliance is suing my organization, Voices for Voices. And so Faith Fantasy Alliance, you can see Becky Minor, you can see Scott Minor as the plaintiff, and you can think of the plaintiff in a civil matter like this. The plaintiff would be similar to prosecution in a criminal matter, and then the defendants correlate very, very strongly and similar on the criminal side as well as civil. So Voices for Voices has been formally sued by Faith Fantasy Alliance and Scott Minor and Becky Minor, which you can see as the plaintiffs. And Voices for Voices is the defendant. And so the potential of a rumor is that we just want to make sure that you know and everyone knows around the world that it's not Voices for Voices doing the suing. We're not the plaintiff. Rather, it is Faith Fantasy Alliance, Becky Minor, Scott Minor, talks about realm makers. So if you're attending realm, you're thinking about attending realm, this is very important information to know, because we're all human beings, we're all imperfect. And so where humans gather, whether in person or virtually, cyber, there's a chance that this document that you see has been twisted. And what do I mean by that? So what do I mean by this is this example of, well, us realm, we're being sued by Voices for Voices. And so that may or may not be said, may or may not be typed, but we're showing this as a fact of who's doing what. And there's a lot of he said, she said that could potentially be going on. And so in my good faith, and by having these documents delivered to Voices for Voices World Headquarters, I can assure you what you see on the screen. It says Faith Fantasy Alliance, aka Realm Makers, Scott and Becky Minor, as the plaintiffs. Those are the individuals who are doing the suing. Voices for Voices is not. So that's why we're coming to you tonight. We just want to share that. We want to make that information available because in our good faith, understanding is that bits, pieces, potentially this document are being shared widely. And so we want it to come from us. If you're a follower, a supporter, that we're standing in truth. And this is yet another truth, another fact, right here, before your very eyes. This document shows plain as day, who's doing what. So if somebody's mentioned, us at Realm, we're being sued by Voices for Voices, that would be a falsehood. The fact would be what you're seeing here, is that Voices for Voices is indeed not being the plaintiff, not being the entity or person or persons who's doing the suing. Rather, it's Scott and Becky Minor, as you can see, and the plaintiff, as the plaintiff, Voices for Voices as the defendant. So we thought it was a very important time, again, to just back up what we say on our shows. We give transparency, we give information, and facts. We try our best to be rooted in facts, and this here document is a legal document. And again, in our good faith, understanding this document's been shared widely. And so we want to set the record straight of who's doing what. So Faith Fantasy Alliance, Realm Makers, Scott and Becky Minor, you're doing the suing. You're the plaintiffs. Voices for Voices, we're not doing the suing. We're being sued. And we'll continue to talk about information, to talk about facts, whether somebody wants to hear it or not.